It's 90 degrees outside and it's a pleasant 72 in here, thanks to the LG dual inverter air conditioner, which I bought about a year and a half ago, and it didn't frickin' work when I got it home. I took it apart this weekend and I actually got it working for free. It may be fluky, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Sorry, I wasn't going to make a video with this because I really didn't think there's any way I was going to be able to fix it. And I still probably won't. But I had bought this at a pawn shop for 300 bucks. It's like $700 new. Thought I had a good deal. Carried it all the way up and stuck it into the roof up there and plugged it in, and it didn't work. I was getting a CH67 error. Let me just show you on how to find that code. It's probably the same on most LGs, but you can do a diagnostics by holding this down for 5 seconds, and then an error code will show up on the screen. So I was getting CH67, which I have no idea what that means. I guess it doesn't matter for these purposes. So anyways, I pulled the unit out of the case and took the circuit board out, and my thought was, at the very least, I could maybe try to find a new one of those. And so I took pictures as I took things apart, and I think I'll post those up here in case you're in the middle of that. But I had nothing to lose, so I pulled everything out, and what I found inside, hopefully this is the problem, is there was this cord that wasn't connected to anything, and it looked like it was broken off. And I do believe it says jumper on it, and I do believe that goes over to this hole. It seems to be exactly the right length, and it appears like it should fit right in there. So I'm gonna solder that back into the hole, and I guess if I'm posting this video, that's gonna make it work. I'm not going to post it if it doesn't work. Alright, I suck at soldering, but I ended up drilling a little hole through here so I could stick this back through here and drilled it in, or soldered it in from the back side. Now I'm going to put everything back in where I think it goes. I'm looking at my pictures, but mostly the things are color coded, so these all have different colors on them, and they go into their color coded thing over here. There's the two power leads, and I wrote 1 and 2 on those, and those go into these two plugs here. There's a heat sink right here that goes on across these things. There's this heat sink that goes right there. I should probably go get some more thermal paste to make sure that those don't overheat. I think it's pretty straightforward. Let's see if I can do it. This is what it looks like with those heat sinks on. You don't have to take those off to get it out. I just put the screws back in. Now I'm going to put it back in. I got to plug it all back in, and we'll stick it back in the box. There's what those little collection of plugs look like down there. I got to close it up, so I'm not going to be able to show you once I get it closed up, but make sure you plug these in before you get it closed. Those are right here. This plug on mine, which says MVCJ, wasn't plugged into anything at all when I opened it up. Alright, so this connector with the yellow, blue, and red is going to go into here. And then over here, I got to look back at my pictures, but I know the ground and the power lines are going to go into here. And if you look closely, I think we've got ground is the top one, and this says CN negative power, and this says I'm going to look at the pictures and see how it was. The ground has a blue on mine. It has a blue insulator, and it's a smaller spade connector that goes on the one more inboard. The one on the very edge on the long side is white, and then this one more on the side is the black line. I think I got them all plugged in now. Nope, there was one more blue, red, yellow, and I think that goes way down on the bottom down here. Here's what everything looks like when you get it back together again. There's a schematic on there if that's helpful for you. The control panel that's connected, it's part of the front housing, has a multi-connector on here, which is just going to go right into that. Oh, okay, I'm out in my shed because it's the only place I've got 240 volts, 220 volts, 208 volts, whatever. And let's plug it in and see if it will work. Okay, it always did that before, and this lit up. Let's go to cool and see what happens. If anything. Ooh. I can feel air. I can feel the fan moving. I can hear something. Oh. Come on, baby. Compressor. There's air. No cooling yet. Powering up. It's getting louder. Okay, it never did any of this, so I know it's working. It's not cool yet. I'm going to just pause here. I'll let you know if it comes on. Hell yeah, I heard a click. And I'm getting cool air coming out of there now. I did it. It fixed. You know, I got to tell you, this was the equivalent of those people I see on the side of the road that hardly know how to open their hood when their car breaks down. Like, what are they going to do? You know, maybe there's a squirrel in there? And that's the same thing here. I have no idea. The videos I watched were check this pin and voltage across this diode and all this stuff. I'd be so lost, and even if I could find something, I couldn't fix it. This is the equivalent of the squirrel under the hood. Maybe you got the same thing. You got nothing to lose. I don't think you ever... I've never taken anything to anybody to get fixed because I know they would screw me. I know they would tell me you do buy a new board, all that BS. I say, you know what? Take it apart, see what you can do. You might get lucky, and if you don't, big freaking deal. Bye-bye. Oh, it's so cold.